You Dynamax Hawlucha, it doesn't do very much damage. You activate the weakness policy, you get +2 attack. Hawlucha activates on Burden, it gets effectively +2 speed. And then you can throw off max Airstream and max Knuckle to boost even higher. It was a really cool attack, but Hawlucha was just not quite strong enough to make the best use of it. But I always wanted it to work. And I feel kind of the same about Hawlucha and Scarlet and Violet. Obviously not exactly the same with Dynamax not existing. That was just a sweep, by the way. They just had nothing for coaching into Rillaboom. Mega Hawlucha revealed. I did one of these for Victory Bell. I think Hawlucha also deserves one. It's only fair. And if I'm fast, I can get it uploaded same day. I'm not sure how I feel about Mega Hawlucha. I think it's going to take me a little bit of time. I mean, I do like it, for sure. I think my judgment is colored a little bit because, unfortunately, after Victory Bell was revealed, I think it was the same day, it might have been like the next day, I did a foolish thing. I opened Instagram. God forbid, I opened a social media app. I just looked at my Instagram feed, and right there at the very top was a whole bunch of Mega Evolution spoilers for Legends ZA. Just a bunch of leaked Megas right there, no warning or anything, and because it was right after Victory Bell was revealed, I didn't know for sure that it was a genuine leak. I thought it might be fake. I scrolled the comments. They weren't really helpful in figuring that out. But now that we've seen this Mega Hawlucha, I'm pretty sure that confirms that the leaks that I saw were real, and pretty sure that means I know the rest of the new Megas, which I didn't want to before getting the game. I think that more and more these days, I think that a big part of the experience of playing Pokemon is sort of the feeling of discovery as you find things out gradually as you go through the game, or see other people go through the game. And I really do think that, you know, I'm not the most allergic to spoilers generally across the board. I know people who are a lot more spoiler-averse than I am, but I think with Pokemon specifically, leaks kind of do ruin the experience to an extent. I didn't want to see any for this game. I'm still not going to be covering any on this channel, and I'm still banning any discussion on them in the comments, including the ones that I've already seen. And I'm really not a fan of leak culture, and especially unspoilered leak culture in Pokemon. I have no way to prove it, but I genuinely think that it's part of the reason that so many fans are so vocally unhappy these days. But anyway, that's what I was thinking about watching Mega Hawlucha get revealed. I think it's a little bit unfair to the design, and it is definitely growing on me as I sort of let it settle in on its own merits. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it a lot in like a couple days or so, but this reveal definitely didn't land as well with me as Dragonite and Victory Bell did, for reasons that are not Hawlucha's fault. That said, we're going to do the same thing as with Victory Bell, so I have a Reg H team and a Reg J team. And once again, for the Reg H team, I've just modified an existing team, no doubt making it much worse. This one is actually my own team from the Toronto Regional last year. I have a whole long video about that I plug pretty much everywhere on this channel because it's my favorite that I've made. I was originally just dropping the Superior for Hawlucha, and then I realized I needed a way to activate Unburden, and Focus Sash Hawlucha could work, but on a team with Tyranitar, there's like some really obvious anti-synergy there, so I also slapped Rillaboom into the Goldango slot. I never updated my Goldango set from early in the format, and it wasn't very good by the end anyway. The core of the team was always these four, but yeah, I have Rillaboom and Hawlucha instead of Superior and Goldango here. Hawlucha can go turbo fast with the Grassy Seed. It already has a high base speed stat for this format. Activate the Grassy Seed and it's outspeeding all kinds of things. And then it can click coaching into, I mean, take your pick of Tyranitar, Garchomp, and in fact that same Rillaboom. Is Goldango immune to coaching? I don't actually know how coaching targets, but that would be funny. Not that you would want to coach it anyway. But it's just as well that Goldango isn't on the team anymore. Get rid of Hawlucha's item and you also get power boosted acrobatics and then close combat for the other stab. Pretty straightforward. Oh, I didn't actually gear them to the formats, huh? Well, there we go. Of course, in Toronto, this team mostly just played Talonflame, Garchomp, Melodic and Tyranitar in some order, so it's definitely going to be worse if I force myself to bring Hawlucha. We get Wolf Glick's team immediately. So, number 1 in Toronto versus approximately number 180, wherever exactly I placed. That doesn't really seem fair, does it? How do I not get Perish Trapped here? Okay, Rillaboom Hawlucha lead should actually be pretty strong into this, right? Threatens Politoed immediately. Hawlucha will outspeed Kingdra, I think. Hawlucha definitely has the higher base speed, but I'm running Adamant, so I don't know the numbers. Our Chaldon is a threat. I'm going to do it anyway. I think it is a strong lead into this team. I do also have to watch out for Incineroar, but at least coaching can help deal with Intimidate. And then, given that I'm worried about the Archaludon, actually Serperior is my main anti-Archaludon piece on this team. That's like the one thing it was still good for at the end of the last Reg H run. That and just being cool. But I'll bring Garchomp. I should probably bring Tyranitar to be able to turn off the rain. I don't think Melodic is all that good here. Alright, Tyranitar it is. Politoed Archaludon. They can Electro Shoot Hawlucha immediately. That's the problem with this lead here. They can Electro Shoot Hawlucha immediately, and if I switch out to avoid that, then I give up the Unburden boost, which I don't really think I want to do. Honestly, I might just Terra Stellar Close Combat Archaludon immediately. And high horsepower with the real. I think I have high horsepower. Yeah. I don't need. What did this Archaludon run? Was it Sturdy or I think it was Sturdy, right? So I won't one-shot it. Whatever. If I lose Hawlucha here, so be it. I would like to be coaching things, but actually, I mean, I could coach Rillaboom actually instead. All that and they protect Archaludon. Oh. That does preserve the option of clicking coaching into Rillaboom. Which is actually pretty strong here, because I don't think this is Stamina or Archaludon, if I remember the team correctly. I did use his rental for a while after the tournament. Well, for a little while. There wasn't much time left in the format. Obviously, I could switch Hawlucha out to Garchomp. I just don't want to give up... You know what, it's not the end of the world to give up the Unburden boost, actually, because I can change the weather to take away Kingdra's Swift Swim. So alright, let's do that and Woodhammer Politoed. Coaching Rillaboom could be good here, but okay, they go Gothitelle, they Terra Grass. See, now I don't have the acrobatics into Politoed anymore. Oh, that Woodhammer still does so much damage, though. Hang on. Okay, Gothitelle can fake out. But that means I get an attack into Politoed still, potentially. And Woodhammer does not KO. Okay. Oh, no, U-turn. I don't want to click Earthquake because I have grassy terrain on the field. That's not an issue in the original... Well, in any of the past versions of this team, of which there are many. Do I have Rough Skin on this Garchomp? I'm not 100% sure whether the paste I grabbed is up to date, but yeah, I do have it. Let's just Dragon Claw and Woodhammer Politoed. I don't know. They fake out Garchomp, so Rillaboom will get to attack. Encore into Woodhammer, that's fine. I clicked that anyway. It actually does KO Politoed, so I guess it was a roll. Because it did less than that the first time. Maybe I should have targeted Gothitelle. I mean, Gothitelle gets to protect here pretty freely. And then just Perish Trap these two Pokemon out of here. But I do get Weather Control after that, so I don't have to worry about Hawlucha being outsped. But yeah, I don't know if continuing to target Politoed really made that much sense there. Gothitelle's bulky though, right? That Woodhammer hits hard. Okay. They can just protect both Pokemon here. Nonetheless. The Gothitelle surely protects, right? Or it might even switch out as like an advanced technique. I'll just double Archaludon, I guess. Okay, they let me have their Kingdra. They didn't protect Gothitelle. Wait, I get a Woodhammer into that, because Kingdra just drops the Stomping Tantrum. Okay. They definitely didn't play that right. They just left their Gothitelle wide open, and I didn't even target it because I assumed they wouldn't, but I got so much damage that turn that I knocked it out anyway. That was unexpected. I mean, I'll just double switch here. Might as well not lose any Pokemon. They went for Protect. And now let's do Coaching and Low Kick. They forfeited. Okay. This is, of course, my first time playing the current Reg H ladder other than the Victory Bell video where I played very badly, so I am not high on the ladder, to put it mildly. Incineroar, Rillaboom, Azumarill, Ursaluna, Sneasler, Goldengo. It's like Doug, just without the Dragonite. But they got Fire, Water, Grass, lots of physical offense. I mean, hey, coaching Hawlucha might be valuable into lots of physical offense. Right? This might be another Hawlucha lead game, actually. Hawlucha Rillaboom, again, looks like a pretty strong lead here, except that the Sneasler is a threat. But even then, I can Acrobatics. Depends a little bit on its set, right? Like, I can Fake Out and Acrobatics into Sneasler, but if it has Fake Out, its Fake Out will go first. But they don't all have Fake Out. Let's just see what happens. And it's probably Garchomp Tyranitar again, right? Garchomp is strong into... do I need Talonflame? To beat Rillaboom? No, I think I just need to preserve the Flying Terra for Tyranitar. So no Reckless Terra Stellar this time. Didn't really gain anything from it last game anyway. They lead Azumarill and Incineroar. So they have Fake Out Pressure. I'm going to click... They'll probably Fake Out something in Belly Drum. They probably Fake Out Rillaboom and Belly Drum, right? I'm going to click Coaching. And I'll click Fake Out into Azumarill. Maybe I'm faster than Incineroar. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not running speed investment. Oh, what do you know? So that denies their setup. Hawlucha flinches, but I can still coach now. And just throw a Wood Hammer into... I guess I could like Flare Blitz Rillaboom, but I'll just throw a Wood Hammer into Azumarill and we'll see what happens. Grassy Seed defense boost might even be beneficial to Hawlucha in this game. Although I don't know what Pokemon they have in the back. They do have, you know, the two best special attackers in the format. It's not all physical spam here. They go Sneasler. Okay, that's going to take the Wood Hammer. The Terra Ghost Incineroar. Sneasler does take the Wood Hammer, though not super well. That's after a Grassy Seed boost, too. They do just throw a Flare Blitz into Rillaboom. Sneasler has Unburden. Probably faster than my Hawlucha. Did not want to finish off Rillaboom here. And I think I'm okay to let them because the Azumarill is still awkwardly wanting to set up if it comes back in. So I think I'm just going to click Acrobatics into Sneasler and Grassy Glide Incineroar. Get some chip on that at least before Rillaboom goes down. That's good chip. Yeah, Rillaboom drops to Dire Claw. Sneasler is faster than Hawlucha, but Sneasler now is out of here. Parting Shot into Hawlucha, so it's at -2 attack. It doesn't benefit from its own coaching, but I have two strong physical attackers in the back that can benefit from coaching. Once again, running Rillaboom does mean that I can't be just clicking Earthquake into stuff, but... do I go Garchomp here anyway? Stomping, Tantrum. Do I go Tyranitar and like... I think I go Garchomp because I have Protect on it, and that gets around their Fake Out pressure. Oh, but there's still then the Azumarill setup. Maybe I did need Rillaboom more than I thought. The good news is Azumarill doesn't do big spread damage. I don't think they Fake Out Hawlucha here. I think they Fake Out Garchomp. I'm wrong. Okay. I went for Play Rough into Garchomp, though. Fine. I could Terra Ground here and turn off that weakness. And get more damage on Stomping Tantrum. Okay. Maybe they call this and Aqua Jet or something, but... Let's see. Azumarill takes it. But that pops a Citrus Berry. Parting Shot into Hawlucha. Not into Garchomp. It's Ursaluna last. They play rough into Garchomp. They take a bit of chip, but most importantly, that doesn't KO. Grassy Terrain is gone. Let's Coach and Earthquake. I can click Earthquake next to Hawlucha because it's a flying type. Garchomp, I think, definitely enjoys having two. Look at that +1 defense coming in there. Having two flying type teammates and potentially a third one if I let Tyranitar terrestrialize in some game. That takes out Azumarill. That does a lot to Ursaluna. Ursaluna will get the KO back, but it doesn't KO Hawlucha. However, Hawlucha is now at -3 attack with no way to get stack stat back. But I don't think that matters here because I think I can just click. I think I just click Acrobatics and Knockoff into Ursaluna, and whichever one of my Pokemon doesn't flinch gets the KO. Let's see. They finally target not Hawlucha. Oh, now okay. -3 attack, not quite enough to KO the Ursaluna, but Assault Vest Tyranitar takes that Earth Power nicely, and this will KO, and surely this will too. What is Hawlucha's attack stat right now? 45. Pretty underwhelming, but it is enough to get the job done here. Assault Vest Tyranitar, so tanky. It is a double super effective Vacuum Wave. It is only 40 base power, no stab, but it is double super effective. Still not enough. Alright, we faced the first place team from Toronto, now here's the second place team. And again, I'm using a modified somewhere around 180th place team. So you could say the odds are stacked against me. We'll find out. Okay, so Tyranitar is important into Sun teams. Ursaluna can be an issue, obviously, then. How do I beat Ursaluna? I don't remember. Is this what Melodic is for? I don't think so. Probably to an extent, actually. Rillaboom is probably... Yeah, I mean, I think like most matchups I played in Toronto, it's Tyranitar, Melodic, Garchomp, Talonflame in some order, and I think I more or less split my P2 Ursaluna matchups at the tournament, but we'll get Rillaboom in here. You can Terrafire. Let's honestly lead Hawlucha Rillaboom again, but have Tyranitar ready to switch in and receive coaching. And then... Let's bring Garchomp. Okay, Incineroar, Porygon 2, so it's probably Fake Out Trick Room. Let's see if I can Fake Out first. Nope, theirs is faster this time. I get a coaching into Rillaboom, so +1 defense, unfortunately +0 attack because of the Intimidate. Honestly, Clear Amulet Rillaboom might have gone crazy this video, but I didn't think of that. But everybody's using Incineroar because I guess the top teams from the most recent major tournament used Incineroar. Porygon 2 is a giant threat now. And the awkward thing is, Terrafire Rillaboom is massively stronger to their whole team, including a possible Ice Beam Porygon 2, except the Ursaluna in the back, which is still such a threat. I'm just gonna do this. I might regret. Yeah, I should have terrestrialized Ursaluna. I still could play, or I should have terrestrialized Rillaboom. I still could play around the Ursaluna, but I was running out of time to figure it out. This at least gives me Tyranitar. They can, of course, Terra Fighting Porygon 2 if they want. That special attack boost, no less. Detect here. I mean, there's a risk to using Terra Flying, but I think I'd better. Let's Rock Slide. Okay, gotta get damage on Torkoal if I can, or somebody switching in, like Incineroar. Like Incineroar. Yeah, Ice Beamed. What a menace. Covered for the Terra Fighting, and I made myself weak to Ice. And I have Garchomp in the back, so yeah, I should have brought Melodic to this one, huh? Then I'd have something to pivot in on Intimidate and Ice Beam, but I don't. Hawlucha's still just getting wrecked by these Intimidates and Parting Shots. I should be bringing Melodic to at least this game, probably some others. That is an important part of how this team deals with that. Well, it's the last turn of Trick Room, so I can protect through this one. And then Coach Garchomp, and then who knows. Porygon 2 just recovers here, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Should have called that and protected. I got too scared of the Ice Beam. Well, coaching, Earthquake, maybe a crit. It's only going to be a +0 Earthquake, unfortunately. Oh, I did crit, but it still wasn't enough. Back up. I suppose the good news is that Torkoal is not exactly a huge damage threat into Garchomp, but Porygon 2 is, so never mind. Porygon 2 just sat on the field the whole game. That is actually a lot of eruption damage too. Alright. Well, didn't deserve that one. Played it very wrong. Oh. I guess it's not technically over yet. Now it is. We move on. Gotta work Melodic into a game like that. Okay. Whimsicott, Hisuian Typhlosion, Chinchino, interesting. Incineroar, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Porygon 2. 3 normal types, 2 fire types. Hawlucha feasts on one of those types, doesn't it? Let's do... The team's not that fast, but they have hit Tailwind. But I could do Hawlucha... I think I can do Hawlucha, Garchomp, Tyranitar. If it's like a Whimsicott Typhlosion lead, I'd probably switch Hawlucha out for Tyranitar immediately. And let's learn my lesson and bring Melodic to this one. No Grassy Seed boost, but I don't think it's important here. I think it's really only Tailwind that is an issue for that. We do see the Tailwind immediately, though. I'd like to knock out this Whimsicott if I can. That -1 attack, we'll see. Crits and doesn't quite KO. There we go with that again. Detect an Icy Wind. Fend off a possible Moonblast into Hawlucha, snipe the Whimsicott if it stays in. None of that happens though. They knock off Melodic. Did a lot. -1 speed, Porygon 2 in Tailwind. Weird position. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I think I'm just clicking buttons at this point, but maybe Hawlucha and Garchomp, or Tyranitar Garchomp in the back can turn things around. Or Ghost, Incin, but I clicked Close Combat into Porygon 2. I did also click Scald into Incin. Oh, but somebody else is coming in to take that now. Whimsicott. Alright. Get to knock that out. Are they playing toward Trick Room now? Hawlucha just gets wiped out there. But they didn't set Trick Room. They didn't set Trick Room. Oh, they get their chance here. The fake out pressure. Do they? If I just click knock off and scald into this Porygon 2, is it taking whichever one of those hits I actually pull off and getting the Trick Room up? They Terra Blasted Melodic first, but that means they still didn't set Trick Room, as their Tailwind wears off here. Tyranitar is stuck at -1 attack. There's nothing I can do about that, but I can Terra Flying, knock off Porygon 2, and Earthquake. They switch Ursaluna in for Incineroar. They'll get another Intimidate, but yeah, they're now out of speed control. I got another crit, by the way. Getting a bit lucky with those this video. But they are now out of speed control. And Incineroar can only fake out one of my Pokemon, and thanks to that crit, Blood Moon Ursaluna is in range of the other one. Yeah, I'm going to click Knock Off instead of Rock Slide, just to be sure I don't miss, but Earthquake is pretty free. Vacuum Wave into Garchomp, doesn't do a whole lot. They did not knock off this, or fake out. They did not fake out this turn. They did knock off. That was a funny slip, considering. But my knockoff KOs. Okay. Okay, Primarina, Hisuian, Decidueye. Is this a Swamp Team? If it is, the pledge is probably on Meowscarado, not Decidueye. It definitely could be a Swamp Team, actually. Sylveon, Male Indeedee, and Hisuian Arcanine. If it is a Swamp Team, I probably want to disrupt it with Hawlucha Rillaboom lead. That's weak to Arcanine, but we'll see. And I'll bring... Arcanine could have Intimidate, it doesn't have to. Some of them run. Rockhead. Melodic's not that good here anyway. I'll bring Garchomp and Tyranitar in the back. Primarina, Indeedee. Okay, no Swamp so far. Their Indeedee's faster than Rillaboom. That makes sense. A lot of them run Choice Scarf. That means I do get Terrain Control, which is honestly not even something I was really thinking about at preview. They probably don't have Fake Out Pressure. Indeedee does learn Fake Out, but I doubt it has that on this team. So I'm just going to Coaching and Woodhammer this slot. And even if somebody else switches in, even if it's Arcanine, it takes a lot of damage because it doesn't resist the Woodhammer in this form, being a Rock type. I guess either one of their Grass starters could resist it, but then they're threatened by no item boosted Acrobatics at Unburdened Speeds next turn. They just let me have Primarina. Okay. What does Indeedee do? Trick Room. Oh, okay. I didn't see that coming on this team. I mean, I guess it makes sense to have as an emergency button. Does that mean it's not Scarf Indeedee, though? Well, I'm not too worried about Rillaboom taking a hit from Sylveon. Sylveon could be running Terra Fire or even like Steel or Poison, but I'm not gonna try to guess that. I'm just gonna click Woodhammer. It's gone. Traded Rillaboom for 2 of their Pokemon. Pretty good deal, I think. Indeedee goes for Expanding Force. Officially confirming not Scarfed. Tyranitar should be pretty safe into that Indeedee. They go Arcanine. Do they have Intimidate? They don't. Okay. I'll click Coaching. Hawlucha will probably be knocked out without getting to execute the move, but, you know, we'll try. And let's go for Knockoff into Indeedee. Tyranitar Garchomp should beat Arcanine anyway, although they haven't Terra'd yet. It could be some scary Terra type on Arcanine. They're Fairy Indeedee. Okay. I'll get rid of a Twisted Spoon. I don't think that makes much difference. Hawlucha actually does narrowly survive the... Oh my god. Okay, Arcanine is more threatening than I realized. Hawlucha does actually narrowly survive the Expanding Force, but it drops the sand damage anyway, was what I was starting to say there. I don't think I need to worry about... Oh, I was going to say I can just click Earthquake here and not worry about Tyranitar, but actually I don't want to do that because there's still grassy terrain on the field. Earthquake is weakened by that. So, stomping into Indeedee. Is that right? Dazzling Gleam Indeedee. Terra Ground. I think stomping into Indeedee is fine. Okay, no. I lose? No, I win? Oh, I mean, yeah. I checked the speeds and still somehow misread it and missed that Tyranitar was slower than their Arcanine. So we take advantage of their own Trick Room there. And with the Dazzling Gleam, Garchomp survives. I thought that they were going to knock... Yeah, I somehow missed the Tyranitar, even though, of course, Tyranitar is slower than Arcanine. Somehow I just misread the log here. And so I thought I was going to have to knock out one of their Pokemon with Garchomp and then Protect on the last turn of Trick Room and then knock out the other one. Which is still fine, it just takes a few more turns. Well, 2 more turns, I guess, but... yeah, didn't have to do all that after all. Whimsicott, Annihilate, Dragonite, female Indeedee this time. Delphox and Archaldon. So it's Double Dragon, Delphox, Psy-Spam. Kind of old school Reg H here. I like it. Do I know this matchup? Do I know how I beat these? I don't know. Tyranitar is really strong here. It beats like these 3. At least. There's a case for Talonflame in this one, honestly. I could... Well, Talonflame's been kind of a passenger this video because I've been forcing a different bird into my games, but Talonflame can Will-O-Wisp Annihilate. But I think I'm also okay with just Hawlucha Acrobatics into Annihilate. The problem is I don't think I bring Rillaboom to this game. I'm going to say I think the smarter play here is to bring Talonflame, but because this is the Hawlucha video, I'll bring Hawlucha and try to threaten the Acrobatics into Elite Annihilate. Yeah, I can close combat Archaldon too. Okay. Let's do this. It's Annihilate Delphox lead. Okay, Annihilate is a little bit unpredictable. Could be Scarf Final Gambit, it could be Bulk Up, it could be like Safety Goggles Final Gambit, which has the Final Gambit option, but also other attacks that it goes for. That said, I have Lead Flying type, Ground type, so I can just click Earthquake with Garchomp after... I was going to say Acrobatics. If it's Scarf Final Gambit Annihilate, then I probably want to attack it. It doesn't matter. If it's Scarf Final Gambit Annihilate, then I'll waste my coaching here, but maybe it isn't. They switch it out, so that's probably a good sign. Expanding Force wipes out Hawlucha anyway, so I don't get a coaching here, but I will take out the Delphox with an Earthquake. At the cost of a lot of Garchomp's HP, though. Now, I think I can just go Tyranitar and be ready to Terra Flying. It could still be Scarf Annihilate, but I'll hedge for that by targeting a Flying Terra Blast into it. And Earthquake. I really love Tyranitar and Reg H. I think it had some doubters for a while in like the middle of the format, but in a lower power, wide open format with this, like this, where there aren't restricted Pokemon, but there are a ton of giant threats, I think it's really valuable to have a Pokemon that kind of shuts down a lot of the metagame by itself. Oh. Huh, okay. Well, we'll take out Indeedee then. The sand damage will do it, yeah. Alright, Melodic. Archaldon's a problem. Archaldon's a real problem. I don't know what ability it has. I don't even want to Scald it before this low kick comes out. I could Scald Annihilate. There's a chance of a burn, but there's also a chance that I just power up its Rage Fist. But what else am I going to do? Icy Wind? Oh, it probably has Defiant? Okay. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said in this format for a Pokemon that... Oh, Power Orb Archaldon. Just shuts down a lot of tough matchups. Tyranitar is just so good into... This is a loss. Tyranitar is so good into Psy-Spam stuff and a lot of Sun stuff. It does create its own complications for team building because it's a Pokemon that wants to Terastallize a lot of the time, and so you kind of have to accommodate for that in your team, but at the same time it simplifies so many other things. I've definitely been very happy using it throughout the format. Blaze Breed Tauros. with Torkoal, Dragonite, Garchomp, Charizard, and Whimsicott. Double Dragon, Triple Fire. It's good for Tyranitar, Garchomp, but the Whimsicott's actually an issue. I just Brave Bird these Whimsicott with Talonflame. Did they run Focus Sash in this format? I don't really remember. Probably would. Once again, I'm sure I would bring Talonflame if this were not the Hawlucha video, but of course I'm thinking about Hawlucha first. That said, I don't think I want to bring Rillaboom to this one. But coaching into Tyranitar or Garchomp could be really, really good here. Like, Terra Flying Tyranitar goes crazy, right? Okay, Hawlucha, Garchomp, Tyranitar. I'll still bring Talonflame. I think it's good enough here to do that. Maybe I need Melodic, actually. Or the ice coverage into these, and even Scalds, maybe. Alright, I'll bring Melodic. Talonflame is unfortunately just riding the bench here, again, purely because there's a different bird that is the featured star of the video, but let's see if I get away with this. But Talonflame is normally a key piece of this team. I get away with it, but it doesn't do enough damage without... I was going to say without the item, but what I mean is without not having an item. Well. Okay, they protect the Whims. But I clicked Rock Slide so I can get big damage into Torkoal. Remove the Eruption as a threat. They clicked Overheat into Hawlucha. What a menace. We got Melodic here. Preserve the Hawlucha. Oh, they get the Mood Blast drop and activate competitive for me. That's lucky. It's offset by a Rock Slide miss into Whimsicott, which actually was the target I would rather hit there. But I think I just Icy Wind and Rock Slide here. Terra Fairy, Dragonite. They click Sunny Day. Okay. So they have their weather control back. They get all 5 hits with Scale Shot. If only 4, that wouldn't have KO'd. But they do open up their -1 defense Dragonite to a Rock Slide. Still doesn't take a whole lot. Might have multi-scale. I said Terra Fairy Dragonite is a real problem here. I'm gonna go Hawlucha. Okay, Blaze Breed Tauros. I could switch Tyranitar out and get the sand back up, but I don't really think I need it. It's not like they have Charizard taking advantage of the sun here. This will still hit hard with boosted Flare Blitz or Raging Bull, but most of my remaining Pokemon resist it. Dragonite will KO Hawlucha before I get a coaching, though, right? Oh, on the other hand, hopefully it won't. Oh, we just survived the Extreme Speed. Actually... Oh, it's Mirror Herb Tauros. Uh-oh. Also should have Terra Flying there. They gone for Scale Shot. I wonder what would have happened with Hawlucha, but it doesn't matter. We don't get to take advantage anyway. I'll click Coaching. Maybe they don't target Hawlucha for some reason. And... I mean, you know it's Terra Ground Earthquake now. What else have I got? Extreme Speed into Hawlucha. Then Earthquake picks up both KOs. Garchomp is really saving some games this video, huh? Hawlucha's the star, but Garchomp's the MVP. This is a rain team with Primarina, which is interesting. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but it's not what you usually see. Pelipper, Archaludon, Primarina, Annihilate, Rillaboom. They have the Swamp combo if they want it. And Mousehold. Then they also have Tailwind if they want it. They have just a Fast Bond. I saw someone the other day refer to Mousehold as the fastest Pokemon in the Reg H meta. And I guess that's technically true because, like, I was the only person using Superior at the end of the previous run of the format. It does show up here and there with, like, dual screen sets. I know Adi from Tub featured one. Superior, fun fact, is faster than Mousehold. It's just... I suppose fair to not call it a meta threat. Anyway, I'm distracting myself again. Let's do this. Our child on mouse hold, they can side population bomb to activate stamina, and I don't really have anything for that, so gonna need some more of that crit luck. Let's get rid of the mouse hold first, though. Oh, wait. I have one thing for that, and it's KOing mouse hold before it gets to do it. I'm clicking acrobatics instead of close combat, because if they are going to go for the combo here, it probably involves terrestrializing mouse hold, you would think, right? And it's a reasonable guess, I think, that it's Terra Ghost. Terra Fairy or Chaldon. Well, heck, Grassy Glide does so much damage, the Acrobatics still picks up the KO. Our Chaldon just goes for Dragon Pulse into Hawlucha, doesn't KO. We have denied the +6, but Stamina or Chaldon is still a problem for this team. They can't terrestrialize Primarina. I'm gonna Coach and Grassy Glide. I know the Grassy Glide will come out before the coaching, but I think that's fine. Going to Pelipper. Okay, might have preferred Woodhammer, but that still does a lot. Get coaching. I am kind of playing the ignore the Archaludon while removing the other Pokemon game. Actually, I can Woodhammer Archaludon now, right? Get the most possible power out of that. Let's go Tyranitar and change the weather on them. Let's knock off. Knocking off Primarina is not that valuable, but I can Grassy Glide it, right? The alternative is Flying Terra Blast. I'm not sure I want to commit my Terra to that right now, so let's knock off the Pelipper. I don't want to Rock Slide because I don't want to needlessly give a stamina boost to our Chaldon. And now that our Chaldon doesn't resist the Woodhammer, I still have the Grassy Terrain Alpha, +1 attack. Let's see what it does. Wide Guard. It's okay, I didn't click Rock Slide. That does so much damage. That is a trade I'm very happy with, as we knock out Pelipper, and my last two Pokemon should be able to handle Primarina. How often do you see Rillaboom just traded for Archaludon like that? That was exciting. Forfeit. Okay. Torkoal, Conkeldurr, Dragapult, Farigiraf, Smeargle, and Toxtricity. It looks like Hard Trick Room, but I don't know what the Toxtricity does here. Well, I mean, it throws off strong special attacks. It's not crazy slow, but it's like reasonably slow. It makes perfect sense, actually. The Dragapult is more interesting, actually. Well, it could be a fast support set to enable the Trick Room setup, or it could be an alternative mode where it tries to carry the attack as just one of the fastest Pokemon in the format. Oh yeah, Dragapult is also a Pokemon that's faster than Mousehold in this format, though I guess it's not a super common threat. Look, you do have to consider it. Hawlucha Garchomp is really strong here. Unless I want immediate grassy terrain. Hawlucha doesn't unspeed. Hawlucha only outspeeds Dragapult after Unburden. It's repeatedly proving to be the limitation to using Hawlucha, that if I'm going to make any good use of it at all, I have to activate its ability. So I'm feeling in a lot of positions like I should lead Hawlucha Rillaboom, even if it's otherwise not a great idea. But I definitely want Garchomp in this matchup, as well as Tyranitar. Hawlucha, man, Victory Bell was just, it wasn't very good in its video, let's be honest. Hawlucha is a fascinating one because it feels so close to being a good Pokemon. It's just not quite there. I was going to fake out this Smeargle, and then I remembered. Not in that case. Like, Unburdened Hawlucha goes turbo fast, it gets coaching, it gets Encore, which I'm not even running, which took out for his Farigiraf anyway. Yeah, Encore, which I'm not even running here, it gets strong attacks. Feels so close to being a good Pokemon. I also used to try it in Sword and Shield. I think a lot of people tried this at some point, but I was one of them. I ran Pixelate Quick Attack Sylveon with Hawlucha, and with Weakness Policy Hawlucha. And so I would Dynamax Hawlucha, Quick Attack it. With Pixelate, Quick Attack is a Fairy type move. Coaching high horsepower. I don't need to. Coaching... But I want to. Coaching high horsepower. Oh, what do you know? Quick attack is a weak fairy type attack on Sylveon's off stat. You Dynamax Hawlucha, it doesn't do very much damage. You activate the weakness policy, you get +2 attack. Hawlucha activates on Burden, it gets effectively +2 speed. And then you can throw off Max Airstream and Max Knuckle to boost even higher. It was a really cool attack, but Hawlucha was just not quite strong enough to make the best use of it. But I always wanted it to work. And I feel kind of the same about Hawlucha and Scarlet and Violet. Obviously not exactly the same with Dynamax not existing. That was just a sweep, by the way. They just had nothing for coaching into Rillaboom. I don't feel exactly the same in Dynamax, or without Dynamax, but Hawlucha feels like it's so close to being a good Pokemon. It's just never quite there. But maybe that's the best case then for giving it a Mega, right? Maybe Mega Hawlucha is exactly what it needed. I do get the feeling from the design and the flavor text that we've seen for Mega Hawlucha that it's going a bulkier route instead of turbo fast Chaos Demon, but time will tell. How do I beat this? Talonflame could be good here for Moongus and Corviknight, but once again, the bird slot's kind of taken. That said, is Rillaboom that valuable here? Maybe. I think I might need Melodic to beat Corviknight, so I'm bringing it purely for that reason. Talonflame sits out once again, even though Talonflame also... The problem is I'm not running Flare Blitz on this Talonflame anymore. I was on an earlier version of the team, and then I decided I needed both Will-O-Wisp and Taunt. Will-O-Wisp would be good into Corviknight, but then what does Talonflame do after that? I think this is just coaching Earthquake. I could think about Terra Ground. Okay, I've thought about it. I protected our Chaldon. Because a lot of our Chaldon runs Stamina, I want to get, immediate big damage into it if I can. Anyway, that Earthquake took out a Moongus, so that's nice. If they go Corviknight, I think I ignore it and just double down for now. Go Sneasler. I can detect and protect around... Oh, okay, Terra Grass or Chaldon. I can detect and protect around the Fake Out. There's no Fake Out. They just close combat. They Electro Shot. They have the Power Herb. Good thing I avoided that one. They could switch Politoed in if they want, but if they switch Politoed into the Sneasler slot to get their Archaldon going, then Politoed takes a lot of damage coming in, because I'm going to, I think, coach. And could be Sash Sneasler. If it is and it attacks Garchomp, it drops to Helmet, or not Helmet, Rough Skin. I'm gonna coach and just Dragon Claw this slot. And that at least does non-zero damage to Corviknight coming in. Sneasler has a White Herb, okay. No Focus Sash, but it takes the damage from the Rough Skin, it takes the damage from the Dragon Claw, and they forfeit after bringing in their Politoed, which I could also just knock out, and then I would have to beat our Chaldon somehow, but in fact, I probably should have preserved the Terra on Tyranitar for that, but I don't know. Guess the opponent didn't believe that they had a way to claw it back. This is a repeat opponent, so I'll make this the last Reg H game of the video. It's gone on way longer than intended anyway. I don't think I'm going to do a full slate of Reg J. Maybe just a couple of games. Delphox game, they led their Psy Spam stuff last time. No, they led Annihilate Delphox, and then they switched Indeedee in last time. Well then what if I do this? It's the last Reg H game, so let's be sure to bring Hawlucha. Black. Annihilate Whimsicott this time. I think it was Annihilate Delphox last time. This is pretty threatening, but I'm just going to Terra Flying. Terra Blast, Annihilate. Gotta get that out of here. Oh, I lost to Terra Water Annihilate last time I played this team, right? That was this team. I'm actually gonna Terra Blast the Whimsicott because I want to deny their speed control if I can. But then what does Garchomp do? Honestly, maybe just switch out to Hawlucha. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Beat up into Annihilate. You know, haven't seen that in a while. Kind of forgot to think about it. Doesn't KO, but I'd have preferred that I attack Annihilate there instead of Whimsicott. The good news is they don't get Tailwind this game. You get Delphox. Delphox will outspeed everything. If it's at max speed, it's actually 1 point faster than my Adamant Hawlucha. It's pretty, not great for me. I'll just double target Annihilate here. They go in DD. What does Delphox do? Expanding Force is faster than Hawlucha. It's max speed Delphox. Alright. Well, so it goes. Earthquake and Protect, because they can follow me to try to preserve the Delphox here. But they also can just knock Garchomp out with Expanding Force, right? Yeah. Okay. That was a quicker one, at least. Okay. I'm a little bit tired, and also I don't have much time to finish this if I want to get it uploaded today. So yeah, I'm just going to play a little bit of Reg J. Not a full slate of Reg J games, but I did also make a Reg J team. It's very simple. It's coaching Hawlucha again. I did run Encore on this one just because I could. And it's looking to coach Ice Rider Calyrex, or Rapid Strike or Shifu, or even Kyogre to help it set up with Calm Mind by also boosting its defense. Very simple team. That I made on the spot instead of modifying an existing one. Although it looks like a lot of teams that I've spammed in Reg J. We get Attack Deoxys Psy spam right away, which is really scary. With Zamazenta too, so I can't just plop Calyrex in front of it. I don't know that you can do that anyway, because I think they run knockoff. I guess it's probably, for this one, Hawlucha, Calyrex, Rillaboom, Kyogre? Or, honestly, maybe Urshifu? Let's bring Urshifu. Let's do this. Depending on what they do, see, if it's a DD lead, I can change the terrain. They do also lead Torn. But I don't think there's much in this position to stop me from going Rillaboom, Glacial Lance. But they just threw all their speed control at me immediately, so I don't know what they're going to do here. They've kept their options open. Tailwind. Could have set Trick Room with Calyrex, I suppose. Yeah, I didn't know what they were going to go for. We do take out the Torn there. We do a lot of damage to the Indeedee as well. We get to +1 without no coaching needed. The Deoxys comes in. I'm going to U-turn that slot. Am I? I'm going to U-turn the other slot. I think there's a good chance they protect Deoxys. And I'm going to go for Trick Room with Calyrex. I'm anticipating that they protect Deoxys to switch Indeedee out to reset the terrain. I'm wrong. They just attack in grassy terrain. I don't think that's going to work out for them. U-turn chips Indeedee nicely, which means Calyrex would get to throw off the Glacial Lance, except I actually clicked Trick Room, but then I could just do it next turn, so that's fine. Forfeit before I can get Hawlucha back onto the field. I'm going to play at least 3 games, maybe like 5. I'll play it by ear. Gotta get Hawlucha to do something, though. It just led that game and switched out, and that was all. Fairy Arceus, I think. Yes. With Koraidon, Fluttermane, Incineroar, Raging Bolt, and Brute Bond. It's a little bit jarring to see Arceus when I've just been playing Reg H for most of the last hour. Flipping back and forth like this feels a little odd, but anyway. I guess I want to try to sweep with Calyrex here, so let's do... Okay, once again, the problem is Hawlucha doesn't outspeed everything until I get this... I get the Unburden activated. The good news is they don't have a terrain, so I think I can just lead Rillaboom Calyrex and look to pivot Rillaboom out and Hawlucha in. And then I guess I'll bring Kyogre to this one. Maybe Incineroar is better, actually. Because it's helpful into Brute Bond it. It can at least take a hit from Raging Bolt. Kyogre changing the weather is pretty good, though. And Incineroar is really bad into Arceus. I'll bring Kyogre. I don't know. Probably optimal to bring both and not Hawlucha, and not have Hawlucha on the team, but... Okay, it could be Terra Water Brute Bonnet. A lot of them are. But I have one weird trick for that. Woodhammer and Glacial Lance. Brute Bonnet's pinned. I mean, they could wreck me with Flutter Mane or something here, but we'll see. Shadow Ball into Calyrex does a lot, but I get KOs. They didn't Terrasilize Brute Bonnet, so the Woodhammer looks kind of silly. They Spore the Calyrex. Right, Brute Bonnet's faster than Ice Rider. Gotta remember that one. Alright, let's... Woodhammer Flutter Mane, and they can KO Calyrex here. What am I gonna do? Right, it's asleep. It's not of much use to me anyway, unless it gets a chance to wake up, and I don't think it will. My opponent's a very powerful offensive team, so I'll go ahead and let Calyrex go down here. Woodhammer Flutter Mane, knock it down to its Sash. Keep on it just protected. I guess this simplifies things a little bit in that I can... I'm gonna go Hawlucha first, actually. So I can threaten an Acrobatics into Brute Bonnet. But I can focus on a Kyogre. Wink on. That's actually still really hard to pull off depending on what they have in the back, right? Like, Kyogre wants to Terra Grass on most... Oh, hold on. It doesn't KO. Kyogre wants to Terra Grass on most of this team. But not this. They just Thunderclap Hawlucha here, right? I'm running Terra Ghost. But that's still a really strong hit, and... I need to be able to Terra Kyogre. Right? Alright, I'm gonna hard switch Kyogre in. I'm gonna quick Acrobatics into Koraidon, and I'm gonna hope it somehow works out. They actually switched to Brute Bonnet. Fortunate. I do take away the Photosynthesis from both Pokemon here. They didn't Thunderclap after I worried so much about it, but they Thunderbolt and take Hawlucha out with that. Almost out of grassy terrain too. Yeah, they just preserve the Fire Terra on Koraidon and they're fine, right? What I can do here is try to KO Brute Bonnet and fake out the Raging Bolt, but I still don't see a line from there. Oh well. That would have been pretty exciting if Hawlucha had knocked out the Koraidon, but once again, Hawlucha feels like it should be a good Pokemon, just not quite strong enough. Maybe Mega Evolution will save it. I really hope so. I really want Hawlucha to be... I think Hawlucha is so close to being an exciting, dynamic, competitive Pokemon. I really want to see it get there, at least for a little while. Okay, here's the play. I Terra Grass, they don't expect it. They don't Flare Blitz Kyogre, I Ice Beam Koraidon. It's all I have left. If they protect Koraidon here, or they do call the Terra, or they just wipe me out with Close Combat or something, although this is a very physically bulky Kyogre. No, they Flare Blitz Rillaboom, it might work. Yeah, I think that was my only out. I'm gonna Protect here, get a bit of recovery, scout for like a Draco Meteor. It also kills a Turn of Sun. They Terra Electric. Oh, Snarl, okay. I can Calm Mind, and it won't net boost special attack, but it will boost special defense. And I can tank their hit. They could crit me or something, but I can tank hits, I can weave in Protects, I can get out of Sun. Get rid of their Photosynthesis, and at least hit harder with Origin Pulse. There's the Draco Meteor. Mind. Yeah. I'm out of Sun now. I'll Protect anyway for a little more recovery. I mean, why not? And let's see what it's going to be a -1. Origin Pulse, but let's see. It's not. They went for Thunderbolt. Let's click another one then. Draco Meteor. Now they're lowering their own special attack. Unless... maybe they get some kind of turbo crit. Origin Pulse just powers through. Alright. Kyogre was able to pull that one back in the end. Even though Hawlucha missed the KO on Koraidon, it still worked out. Here's normal Arceus with Miraidon, Flutter Mane, Whimsicott, Incineroar, and Iron Valiant. Changing the terrain on this team could be fun. But Miraidon just kind of wipes out Hawlucha, doesn't it? That's a bit of a problem. Maybe I should run like Terra Ground instead of Ghost. I just thought, oh, there could be fake outs on like really clutch turns where I want to click coaching immediately, even though I have Detect, so I can play around fake out anyway. Maybe I should run Terra Ground Hawlucha. I kind of want to lead Hawlucha Ice Rider. The problems are, one, Hawlucha is outsped by a lot of their team unless I get Grassy Terrain up, and two, just click coaching and Glacial Lance doesn't work so well into Iron Valiant, which usually runs Wide Guard. But what does their team have for Calm Mind Kyogre? Now there's a question. I'll still bring Ice Rider and Hawlucha, but... I mean, I probably should have brought Rillaboom. Right? And Rillaboom is probably actually really important to this matchup. But it's the Hawlucha video. I brought Hawlucha. Their Iron Valiant is boosting attack. I wonder whether that's intentional. But yeah, I'm just going straight for the Terra Grass Calm Mind stuff immediately. I'll click Scarf Surging Strikes and Iron Valiant. If they KO Urshifu, I'm okay with that as long as I KO Iron Valiant first. White Guard. Okay, I KO Iron Valiant first. Yep. Looks like it was a roll, actually. Because one of those rolls was 28%. If I get that all 3 times, it's not KO'd. But it worked out. Go straight for Parabolic Charge. Nothing else on my team wants to deal with Parabolic Charge. I guess I'll just throw Calyrex at them. I can Protect here, and then they probably don't let me Trick Room, but if they do, that gives me a little bit more of an advantage. Hawlucha is pretty much useless in this matchup. It's downright silly that I brought it anyway, instead of Rillaboom, but it's the Hawlucha video. Right? They just Parabolic Charge their own Incineroar, nobody else there. Let's Calm Mind and Trick Room. They knock out Incineroar, so they don't have it available to deny the Trick Room. That's kind of nice for me. Miraidon must be specs locked into Parabolic Charge, else why are they clicking it every turn? Anyway, let's just Origin Pulse and Glacial Lance. Extreme Speed Calyrex, it doesn't even KO. And it looks like Origin Pulse is taking 2 KOs back. Alright, pretty smooth one. Did not need Hawlucha. It just sat in the back the whole game. I'll get 2 more. I'll get to 5 games. I don't want to cheap out on the Reg J stuff just because I overdid Reg H, but I do want to get this video finished in like the next... finished and uploaded in like the next hour and a half. So, gotta stay focused. What on earth is this? They don't even have a restricted Pokemon, and yet I'd still be asking that if I saw this team in Reg H. Looks like hard Trick Room, though. Well, sort of hard. There are a couple Pokemon here that don't scream Trick Room to me, but most of them do. Well, the cool thing about that is I don't have to worry about activating on Burden to get my coaching. Actually, Pelipper is a problem, right? Because it gets Wide Guard. Pelipper can make Ice Rider a little bit sad here. I don't have coverage on Ice Rider for it, but I'll just lead this anyway. It's very strong. I was going to say, actually, I think this is the coaching into Urshifu game, but it's not, because 1, I'm not bringing Rillaboom to make Hawlucha faster than Urshifu, and 2, they have this, which can completely shut down Choice Locked Surging Strikes. If they didn't have Gastrodon, I might well try it anyway. Okay, it's Incineroar for Rigorath. They can Fake Out and Trick Room, but I think getting either Coaching or Glacial Lance here, either one, is advantageous. I don't get the Coaching, but I do get the Glacial Lance. That's a lot of damage into Rigorath. They do get the Trick Room. I think Calyrex is their higher priority to remove here, so I'm just going to click Coaching again, and maybe I'll get away with it. Knock out Farigiraf. I don't think Incineroar is KOing Hawlucha. I get a Glacial Neigh. I get a Chilling Neigh boost. Take a lot of damage back from Knockoff, but we got Calyrex now to +2 attack and +1 defense. Who's coming in? If it's not Pelipper... actually, Hatterene could be hard to deal with here, too. Lurantis is probably slower than Calyrex, so that's not ideal either. I actually think I want to Terra Dragon here. Oh, I don't have close combat on this Hawlucha. I was going to click that into Incineroar. It's fine. I'm going to Terra Dragon. Terrafire Lurantis. They superpower Calyrex. I was covering for like a, I don't know, grass attack. But it's contrary superpower Lurantis. That makes sense. The +2 Glacial Lance takes out Incineroar. We get a Neigh. We get a Coaching. +4 attack. But faster than Lurantis. But that superpower didn't do a whole lot. But Gastrodon will be faster too, won't it? But what is it going to do in the end game? They also don't have any Trick Room setters anymore, so let's kill a turn of their Trick Room right now. Oh, it's Clear Smog Gastrodon. Uh-oh. Oh. This is the last turn of Trick Room. Even if they take out Calyrex here, I don't think they beat Kyogre and Urshifu in the back. Gastrodon shuts down Surging Strikes, but I just don't have to click that. Superpower Calyrex. But that's now a Fire-type Lurantis. And here's the trick. Storm Drain doesn't redirect spread moves. Gastrodon will be immune and get a boost. I think I can live with that. In fact, I'll click Encore into it right now, so it can't make much use of that boost. Clear Smog is very weak. But Lurantis will still get hit by the Origin Pulse, as long as it don't miss. Yeah. Stop clicking Clear Smog. It actually does a fair bit with that. They got rid of the attack drop on Hawlucha. Let's take advantage of that with an Acrobatics. And Ice Beam. Clear Smog is doing a fair bit of damage to Hawlucha, but it still might not KO. That last roll wasn't enough, but they target Kyogre here anyway. And no need to bring Urshifu in, I think, as Acrobatics and Ice Beam finish the job. Let's get one more. Let's see if we can face some restricted Pokemon again before the end of this. Oh yeah, those are restricted Pokemon, alright. Very Trick Roomy team here. They have Bisharp, which is interesting. If I were actually bringing this Incineroar to games, I would have to be alert to that. And actually, it makes sense, right? Because Incineroar is pretty strong into both of their restricteds. Bisharp might be a pretty smart adaptation, actually, to help Magearna teams deal with that. Although I guess it still has issues with, like, Volcarona. But, I don't know, it's an interesting thought. Final Gambit Annihilate is a problem here. I'm gonna lead Hawlucha. I actually might just commit hard to the Kyogre stuff again this game. Ice Rider is pretty hard to position against Annihilate, Magearna, and Bisharp, and Fluttermane. Let's do Hawlucha, Kyogre. I'm looking to use Hawlucha to beat the Annihilate if they lead with that. Otherwise, again, giving a defense boost to Hawlucha is not the worst thing. I don't think they have Foul Play anywhere on this team. Let's bring this, and let's bring this. Giving a defense boost to Kyogre. I think I might have said the wrong name. Giving a defense boost to Kyogre is not the worst thing. I think Hawlucha is just going to get wiped out by a Moonblast here, but... You know, if that happens, then that's an attack they're not clicking into Kyogre, so I can live with it. Misclicked, but I fixed it. Yeah, okay, Dazzling Gleam. But it only chips Kyogre a little bit. They do get a Soul Heart out of it, but... Kyogre gets +1, they set Trick Room. The problem, actually the biggest problem here is Fluttermane just racking up KOs. Calyrex is kind of pinned here. Maybe I should have brought Incineroar for positions like this. But yeah, Calyrex is kind of pinned here because I mean, I'm weak to Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon, or I'm weak to Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam. The good news is, because I can protect Calyrex... Oh. Well, I thought the good news was, because I could protect Calyrex, I could boost Kyogre more quickly than their Magearna can boost, but they had an answer to that too. So now I just hope that Origin Pulse does lots and lots of damage. Oh, I also get a high horsepower into Magearna. Of course, Calyrex is the slowest Pokemon on the field here. Get a high horsepower into Magearna. That's some chip. But Urshifu is just dead weight here. Actually, it's not, because I can Aqua Jet something. I don't think I need Terra Grass Kyogre in this game. I think I'm gonna Terra Water, Aqua Jet, Magearna, and Rain and hope it KOs. Magearna's physically bulky though. That's silly. But Flutter Mane is faster than Kyogre anyway, so Kyogre, as long as I land the Origin Pulse, will knock it out. Fine. I still think that was the most useful thing Urshifu could try to do there. Right, because it was dropping anyway. They used Fleur Cannon there, so they actually got rid of their boost, but it doesn't matter. Magearna faints here anyway. And who's in the back? You know what? If that Aqua Jet had crit, that would be gaming. Calyrex and Bisharp. Okay. I mean, Kyogre should be pretty strong into those, right? I'm taunted, so I can't protect or Calm Mind. Let's just Origin Pulse. It's the last turn of Rain anyway. Might as well make the most of it. They might protect through the last turn of Rain, but we'll see. Or they might, like, knock off Seed Bomb. That would be pretty unpleasant for me. Sucker Punch. Crits. High horsepower. Doesn't crit. Don't quite KO anything back. Sucker Punch did 40 with a crit, so I don't think it KOs here. Unless it crits again. I think Origin Pulse, if it connects with both of them, just wins. And if it doesn't, then that's Pokemon. If it doesn't connect with them, that is. Sucker Punch doesn't KO. Origin Pulse KOs both. Nice. I think we can leave it there. Just crossed 1400 on the Reg J ladder, which is going to be interesting if the next video I make is a VGC Legends or something. Also, Hawlucha was pretty fun in Reg H, but it's really not holding up well at all in Reg J. The most exciting moment was getting that Acrobatics into Koraidon on the Switch, and then it only did like 75%. I'll tell you what, though, I am warming a little bit to Mega Hawlucha just by playing these games, because, again, it's a nice reminder to me, Hawlucha is a Pokemon that I've wanted to be good for a long time. It's felt like it should be good for a long time. If Mega Hawlucha gives it a serious VGC niche, well, I mean, depending on the stats and whatnot, that could be a lot of fun. And this design is definitely growing on me over time. I genuinely think I had a worse experience of its reveal because I had seen at least a rough version of it before. I kind of wish that I hadn't. I would kind of like to see the Pokemon community... I don't want anybody to be bullied or anything, but, like, gently shame people who post leaks with no warning. But I think it's going to be a fun Mega for sure. And I had some fun Hawlucha gameplay here. Here's to more in ZA or Champions or whatever is to come.